Welcome to Country Cookin'. I'm your hostess, Cindy Schumacher. On today's show, we're going to be making taco pie, salsa, guacamole, country life carrot cake, and cream cheese frosting. So we've got a lot to do, so we're going to get started first with the salsa. I want to get that going. So I have peeled, chopped, and drained 4 cups of tomatoes. Hopefully you still have some nice tomatoes in your garden, or you can borrow some from someone. 1 cup of chopped onion, 1 cup of chopped green pepper, 6 jalapeno peppers that I've finely chopped, and then we need 2 cloves of garlic. And when I make salsa, sometimes I double, triple, even quadruple this batch and can it in pint jars. It keeps for a year or more. Squeeze that in there. Okay, and I'm going to add a tablespoon of sugar and a tablespoon of salt. I'm using kosher salt. You can use sea salt, table salt, whatever. I use kosher for this. And a ½ cup of vinegar. We're going to stir that all together, and we're going to let it simmer. Now, if you like your salsa spicier, you can add a few more jalapeno peppers. If you don't have fresh jalapeno peppers, you can buy them in the jar and use those. It saves you a step of cleaning and chopping those. So we're going to let this simmer. Sometimes after I let it cook for a while, I might take a little bit out, put it in the refrigerator, let it cool down a little bit, and then I sample it and make sure I've got just the right amount of heat. Some people like it a little more mild, some people like it a little spicier. You just make it however you like it. So we'll let that get going. We're going to start on our cake. This carrot cake comes from a cookbook that I got in St. Louis, and it's a wonderful cookbook. It's from a restaurant that is in that area. So I'm going to beat 4 eggs. Okay, I'm going to combine the dry ingredients. We have 2 cups of sugar, 2 cups plus 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour, some baking soda, this is 2 teaspoons, and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and a teaspoon of salt. Now I'm going to whisk those together. Have a bigger bowl, but this is 1½ cups. Okay, I'm going to add my dry ingredients. Okay, now to this, I have 3 cups of grated carrots that I did in a food processor. If you don't have a food processor, you can do it by hand. It takes quite a bit of time, but if you have a food processor, it will save you a lot of time. I've used recipes for carrot cake that use like baby food carrots and things like that, but this really is the best carrot cake recipe that I've come across. I'm going to get a bigger bowl or I'm going to have some trouble here. When you haven't made something for a while, then you forget how much space it takes in a container. Okay, we'll pour it into our pan that I've sprayed with Pam. Okay, looks like that. We're going to put it in the oven for about a half an hour. Now remember, all these recipes can be found on the Valley website. If you don't have internet, be sure and give the girls a call. They'd be happy to help you out with the recipe. Okay, let's go back and stir our salsa here, and then we're going to start on the taco pie. We have 1.5 pounds of ground beef, and we're going to get that browning, and you don't have to season it or anything, because the seasoning will come in the taco seasoning packet. Okay, we'll get that going. I'm going to take a break and clean things up a little bit. We'll be right back.
Blazing fast broadband internet from Valley is now available and better than ever. Let us help you decide which speed is best for you. The 50 meg speed would be sufficient for 1 to 4 devices, mainly emailing and surfing the web. Our 100 meg speed works great for 5 to 8 devices and multiple users streaming and downloading video. If you have 8 devices or more that are simultaneously streaming or gaming, or if you have a medium-sized business, the 250 meg speed would work best for you. For extreme heavy home or work from home use, or if you have a medium to large business using 15 or more devices, you may want to consider our 500 meg download speed to fit your needs. And if you're a home or business that needs it all, we have our 1000 meg, 1 gig broadband internet speed. Call our office today at 437-2615 and talk with one of our staff members to pick the speed that's best for you.
Okay, my hamburger is brown. We're going to drain some of the grease off. Now we're going to add a package of taco seasoning. You can use any kind that you like, or you can make your own. You can do a mild or a medium or a hot, and get that incorporated into your hamburger. Okay, and now to that, we're going to add a pound of cheddar cheese. Here again, you can use whatever you like. If you like mild, if you like medium, or if you like sharp, you can do that. It seems like a lot of cheese, and it is, but it's part of what makes this so delicious. And this is one of those recipes that your kids are going to love, or if you have a casual Sunday supper, you've got some friends in, because it's easy to make and you slice and serve. So I think you'll enjoy this. It's pretty simple. Now while that's cooking down a little bit, we're going to press our crescent rolls into the pan. You just buy a tube of the crescent rolls like this. Pop it open and then press them in just like you would a pie shell. So you roll it out and make sure you go up the sides. So it looks like this. Doesn't have to be perfect because they're not going to see the crust, but you want to go all the way up to the sides so that your filling has plenty of space. It's going to take just a few more minutes for that cheese to melt a little bit, so I just want to remind you that if you would like one of these recipes and you don't have internet, give the girls a call. Otherwise, you can find it on the internet. If you go to the Valley website homepage, you see the Country Cookin' cow on the side. You can click on that cow and you can find the recipes. Otherwise, give the girls a call and they'd be happy to help you out. So we'll take a little break. We'll be right back.
Get 3 months free access on all lines, plus a new 4G smartphone for only $4.99 a month. 2 great offers with Valley Cellular. Call Valley today at 437-2615 to take advantage of this great deal.
Okay, we've got the hamburger ready, so we're going to put it in the pie shell. And then evenly distribute it. Okay, we're going to put it in the oven and bake it at 350, about 20 minutes. Okay, in the meantime, we're going to get the frosting made for the cake. I have 4 ounces of cream cheese that is room temperature. So I'm going to whip that up a little bit here. Add 6 tablespoons of butter. Need about a tablespoon of milk. And a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm using Watkins clear vanilla here so that it doesn't color my frosting. Sometimes when you use pure vanilla and it's brown, it colors your frosting. We want this to be white. So. Now I have 3 cups of sifted powdered sugar. You want to always make sure you sift your powdered sugar so you don't have lumps. If it's not the right spreading consistency, you can always add a little more milk. This frosting I've made before on another show. It's not as sweet as some of the cream cheese frostings. Some of them get so sweet they use like 1.5 pounds of powdered sugar, where this only uses 3 cups, so it's not quite so sweet. I think you'll like it. Okay, that's ready to go. We can set that aside and we'll start working on our guacamole. Give me just a minute, we'll clean up and we'll be right back.
Valley is now offering updated digital TV packages and prices. High definition and caller ID is now free with all TV packages. Call Valley today at 437-2615 to find out more.
We're going to mix together the guacamole. I have 3 avocados that I've peeled and kind of just coarsely chopped. And the recipe calls for you to mash the avocados with the fork. I like them to be a little finer. I like my guacamole to be smoother. So we're going to do the whole thing in here, and I'm just going to throw everything in. I've got some tomatoes. You want to use tomatoes like Romas or something that have a little more meat and not quite so many seeds. I don't have Roma tomatoes, so I seeded my regular tomatoes real well. And I've got a teaspoon of minced fresh onion and a can of green chilies. They're diced. I've drained them. You want to add a teaspoon of lime. If you have fresh lime, use that. If you don't, you can use the real lime like I have here today. And then we want some fresh ground pepper. I have a pepper grinder, and you can always add more later if you taste it and you feel like it doesn't have quite enough seasoning. Okay, we'll blend it up, see how she looks. Sample it, make sure I've got enough seasoning in there. Good. We'll put this in a jar, you know. It's fun to have some things like guacamole and salsa to let people top. Even if you have a taco bar or something like that, that's an easy thing to do, like if you have friends in for a game or something like that. So some guacamole here. Check the cake, see how it's doing. Looks like it's about done. We're just about ready to go. I've got the frosting done. Also on top of the taco pie, we're going to be crumpling some taco chips. If you can't find taco chips, you can use nacho cheese or something like that. Our store in Eureka carries the taco flavor, so I usually try to pick those up. I have put some salsa in the refrigerator to chill down, and we'll serve that on the side of the taco pie. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll frost the cake, and then the taco pie will be ready to go. Be right back.
Valley's Mobile Command Center is coming to a town near you. Stop in at Valley's Mobile Command Center to learn more about our services, see and test some of our products, ask questions, or just to visit with us. Make sure to check your newsletter for specific dates and times when we will be rolling into your town.
Valley Telecommunications, the home team advantage.
Okay, we're about ready to roll. I'm going to take the taco pie out of the oven. We'll let it sit for a minute. Get this cake frosted. If you would like, you can spread pecans, whole pecans, or chopped pecans on top of it, or if you really want to get fancy, you can make yourself some carrots, save a little bit of the frosting, and add some orange food coloring to it, but we're just going to be simple today. Normally you would want to let the cake cool just a little longer than I have before you frost it, but it'll still be fine. Okay, now the taco pie has a little bit of grease on there, and that just happens because the cheese has a lot of fat in it. So I'm going to blot it with some paper towels that just kind of take some of that off. Okay. Now comes the fun part. We're going to dress it up with some lettuce that I've chopped fine. If you can shred lettuce, that's fine too. Got green peppers. And if there's something you don't care for, if you don't care for green peppers, don't put it on. Black olives. I always like the drama that black olives give to your food. Green onions. Add our tomatoes. Now we're going to take our taco chips and crunch them over the top. You can pre-crunch them if you want to, and then you don't make the mess like I'm making on them. But we're among friends. Okay. Spatula here. serve this with a little side of guacamole and a little side of salsa, or put it right on top. And there we have it. We have our taco pie, our salsa, our guacamole, and our Country Life carrot cake. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Country Cooking, and we'll see you next time.